Guys, the Goblin is coming. What do you mean?
Hello. I'm loving the soundboard. I almost forgot about it today, but I got it. I got the soundboard. I got the soundboard and I'm happy about it. Hi. I'm back. I thought it would be fun to take... So, I didn't actually plan this out, but it did seem to work out nicely. Last week, we talked about an old video from the quartering. It was a 3-year-old video, so we were giving a whole lot of, like, you know what, maybe he doesn't think this way, and maybe he's gotten better, and maybe, like, this is kind of just 3 years old nonsense. Well, that is not the case anymore. Muted. What? Okay. You're gonna freak me out, man. I'm like, oh no, everything's going through. I thought I did it right for once. Damn it. One of the things that we did seem to notice, though, is that,
got a psychological problem with women.
Anyway. I wasn't sure, and, like, hopefully he was doing better. Well, turns out, no, his reading comprehension skills have not seemed to improve in the past 3 years. So somebody, Honest Red, sent me this in the Discord. So if you're interested in joining the Discord and kind of seeing the shenanigans we get up to in there, you can become a member of the channel, or you can join the Patreon, links below. But the, chat has an easy time messing with me, I'm not gonna lie. But, so, I got sent this, and I'm like, oh no. Oh no. So, I thought we'd take a look and see what he had to say. So, let's review and take a look and see if he's improved in the past 3 years. Spoiler alert. No. Okay, so he tweeted, oh, by the way, I should also inform you, when I set this up today, the screenshots that I grabbed that are in the thumbnail are ones that I just grabbed this morning. When I went to go, I was just going to show it on Twitter. When I went and clicked on it just a couple minutes ago, this tweet is gone. It doesn't exist now. So it was up for about, oh, when did that person post it in Discord? When they posted it in Discord has been like maybe 4 days it was sitting up there, and it was fine, and we were having a bit of a laugh about it. It's been a few days before the weekend. I could look up the actual day, but I don't think it matters. The point is, it was up for a couple of days, and now surprisingly it's gone, so it's not there now. So if you were to search this the number at the top here, the quartering status, blah 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 blah, if you were to search that, that won't come up. It says it's unavailable. I did double check to see if I was blocked. I have not been blocked, and I also double checked to see if it was available in incognito mode. Also not available in incognito mode, so it looks like that tweet is gone. I'm still gonna look at it because of course I have screenshots of it. Why would I not have screenshots of the thing I'm gonna talk about? But it does get really annoying when I go to talk about things and people delete those things ahead of time. I also apologize, my hair is still wet, but I'm not really that sorry. Oh, and as per quartering videos, I am also wearing another game shirt today because I feel like it's appropriate. It's my World of Warcraft shirt. I hate World of Warcraft. That's not true. That's not true. I don't hate World of Warcraft. It's just not my kind of game. But I like it for what it is. Okay, so let's take a look. So this guy named Ben tweeted out that Trader Joe's just fired me for sending this letter to the CEO saying I don't share their company values. I guess advocating for a safer workplace isn't a company value. And then here's the letter, which we'll look at. I also have that pulled up. But the quartering had responded saying, imagine having a minimum wage employee that is easily replaceable make these absurd demands and not firing them, lol. This generation is full of some of the most entitled morons in history. It's not, and I wanted to make sure to get the bottom of this because he just tried to quantify what he was saying. It's not wrong to make suggestions or want a safe work environment. It is wrong to not realize but Twitter, the tiniest cog in the machine, and maybe consider that when making demands. So I'm gonna let chat vote 69 in the chat, vote 1 if you think a single demand is actually made in this letter. 420 in the chat if you think that the quartering doesn't know what a demand is. Okay. Did you use a VPN? Don't think that would help. It's just our sponsor, Nord. This show doesn't have any sponsors. Are you insane? Who's gonna... No sponsor wants to hang out with me. Are you crazy? Oh. Have you met me? Oh, that'd be amazing. Okay. So, this on its face is absolutely absurd. But let's, before we start picking it apart, let's look to see what the letter said. Maybe the letter is unreasonable. Dear Mr. Bain, my name is Ben, and I'm writing on behalf of myself and blank, both crew members at store 545 in New York City. Last week, more than a dozen scientists called on the Biden administration to set better air standards for workplaces. It is becoming more and more clear that aerosol particles, likely more so than surfaces or even droplets, are a significant source of COVID transmissions. Aerosol particles tend to be much smaller than droplets and can linger in the air for hours. End bracket. Unfortunately, Ashray, and the CDC and OSHA have downplayed the dangers of aerosols since the pandemic's origins, so saying that Trader Joe's exceeds their standards isn't good enough. We should be following the guidelines of scientists who study respiratory transmission. Scientists like the one who wrote the letter detailed in this New York Times piece. Link to article. Additionally, a recent paper from the Journal of Hospital Infection recommends, quote, aside from the obvious benefits of personal protective equipment, the existing evidence is sufficiently strong to warrant engineering controls targeting airborne transmission as part of an overall strategy to limit the risk of infection indoors. These would include sufficient and effective ventilation, possibly enhanced by particle filtration and air disinfection, and the avoidance of systems that recirculate or mix air. End quote, source. Stephanie recently said that filters are getting changed more frequently. This is good, but more can be done. We recommended the following practices to be adopted at store 545 immediately. Improve filtration. Right now we're using the MERV 7 filters, but the CDC recommends MERV 13. When I asked the worker changing the filters if our system could handle MERV 13, he said, quote, I don't know, that information has been painted over. You'd have to ask the manufacturer, end quote. Can we ask the manufacturer? Increase our air change per hour. What is the capacity of our HVAC system? Can we increase our ACH? We've been told that you're working with the facilities manager, but that gives us no real information. Are the air filtration systems on an energy efficient setting? If so, now is not the time. We need to prioritize saving lives by pushing our filtration system to their max, bringing in the most outside air possible. Limit store capacity based on CO2 levels. If we purchase CO2 monitors and adjust occupancy when shared air exceeds healthy limits, 700 parts per million, we will all be safer. Not allowing anyone inside the store without a mask, for any reason. The ADA requires that we offer reasonable accommodations, which we do by offering to shop for them. If they refuse, we should not let them in. Adopt a third strike policy. When it comes to removing uncooperative people from our stores, I was recently shouted and sworn at by a customer who would not wear his mask above his nose, despite mates already asking him to do so. He was allowed to finish his shopping and check out. We're writing you because we know that Alex, Stephanie, and Bob are reflecting your company policies, and these changes can only come with your approval. We put our lives on the line every day by showing up to work. Please show up for us by adopting these policies. Thank you, Ben. So, I'm gonna ask you guys to do me a favor. Where was a demand? Show me a single demand in this letter. $69 in the chat if you think the quartering read this and then has his own assumptions, or made an earnest mistake thinking that these were demands, not mostly questions and requests. 420 in the chat that you don't think he even read this. He just retweeted it and just spewed nonsense. Why was this person fired for sending a letter to the CEO and trying to communicate? This is a problem that you see. This happens a lot in companies. This is like the how dare you question, you asked a question. Your question was well worded, elaborate, had sources as to why you were asking. But how dare you ask? You're fired. Get out for making reasonable requests and asking reasonable questions. You make low minimum wage and you are replaceable. You're putting your life on. Okay. Alright. I don't know. I wonder how this has affected the stock of Trader Joe's. I feel like even if the CEO was fired, he'd have like some ridiculous settlement. It would be like some absurd amount of money. Alright, so imagine having a minimum wage employee that is easily replaceable make these absurd demands and not firing them. So they're not just demands, they're absurd demands. So, first off, I don't see any demands in this. Not a single demand do I see. Second off, what about any of this is absurd? There's two sources that the guy, that Ben listed as to what he's referencing, as to why he's asking, like where this questioning is coming from, and they're the New York Times and the Journal of Hospital Infection. Now, you can go in and you can pick apart the science that may or may not be there, that's fine. But what they're providing is sources. Right? What about improving, during a pandemic, improving filtration and asking if this isn't a demand to make any change. This is, hey, can we ask these guys? Because when I did, they weren't able to, the information had been painted over. Whatever the hell that means. So they're already wearing masks. They already have to wear the mask. This mask has been recommended over this mask, and so they want to know if this mask is up to par or going to be effective. This is not an unreasonable question. You're requiring them to wear the mask anyway. Increase our air change per hour. So if we're set on the energy efficient one, which means you're saving, like the company is saving X amount of dollars on the filtration system not running as high as it can be, but you're in a pandemic, so you're going to crank it a little bit. Also not unreasonable. Hey, can we turn on the AC? That's not an unreasonable request. Limiting store capacities has happened all over the place. Not allowing people inside without a mask. Hi, I live in Canada. This is the norm, and nobody in my area bitched about it. Everybody was like, yeah, cool. Yeah, no problem. Easy peasy. I don't know why Americans have a problem with this. It's bizarre to me. Adopt a 3-strike policy. So that just has to do with, like, here's a way. I'm not just bringing questions and problems to the table. I'm also giving you some solutions that might be effective for our store, because different stores have different needs and wants and desires and different demands. None of this is, all of this makes sense. None of these are, none of this is absurd. I would love to know what was absurd in this. All of this is normal. All of this is a normal conversation, which is why it's bizarre this person got fired for this. Like, they could have ignored it. They could have answered with, they could have given like non-answers. They could have actually read it and paid attention and listened to what the person had to say and maybe implement some of the stuff. Like, it doesn't cost them anything to have to do this. That there's no, this might cost money, this might cost money, this kind of stuff. Ridiculous. Nothing about this is absurd. And here's the thing. It doesn't matter if you're minimum wage or not. The fact that it had to be the minimum wage employee making this request and not the store manager being like, hey, listen, we need to update this for our store, that's absurd. That's absurd because they're the ones who should be advocating for their workers and for their store. And on top of it, if you're a minimum wage worker and you're all easily replaceable and you can find any job to pay you the same amount, why would you go out of your way to risk your life for this asshole who's gonna fire you for asking a question? Fuck this guy. Absolutely fuck this guy. And fuck you, you've got this so goddamn backwards. What the hell is wrong with you? This generation is full of some of the most entitled morons in history. I don't know how old Ben is, so I have no idea what generation he's talking about, but he's making it sound like he's talking about... This phrasing tends to go along with millennials, so I'm guessing he's going with millennial. I'm just guessing, though. That is a guess. I don't know. This is absurd. Imagine working minimum wage and having to risk your life for minimum wage. And then you get fired for asking a question about maybe making your workspace less deadly. And then people like this asshole on the internet are like, how dare you, fuck you, get fired, asshole. And they defend this, how much is this? How much is Trader Joe's worth? I'm gonna find out. How much is Trader Joe's net worth? Let's find out. 3.3 billion in 2017 was their revenue, according to Wikipedia. This one was written on from Business Insider. Let's see. Let me just grab this. Let's take a look. Let's actually look into this a little bit and see. This is... Oh, I hate you so goddamn much. I hate you so much. I hate you so much. God damn it. Why you have to make my life so complicated? God damn it. I don't wanna... I know it's my own fault for not considering this, but I'm really annoyed. Okay. So let me just match this real quick. I'll get it up here for you guys. I'll fix it. I'm sorry. Let me just add a little blurb here. Let's do a window capture. Add the source. There you go. Add a new one. Call it Google. Boop-a-doo, doo-doo-doo. There's the settings. Where is the Googles? Blah, 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 blah. Oh my god, go away. No. Jesus. Whoop. Alright, that's good enough. Okay. Now you can see it. Albrechts, the reclusive billionaire heirs to the Audi and Trader Joe's empires. Theo and Karl took their mother's thrifty corner store still standing in Essen, Germany after World War II and turned it into a low-cost supermarket chain that today spans over dozens of countries across Europe and the United States. Aldi, short for Albrecht, discount, has become such a stakeholder in Europe that other chains like it, including Walmart, have never been able to get a foothold. In 2017, CNBC estimated Aldi made over $13 billion in the US alone. Little is known about them. They don't speak to the press or attend openings for their stores. According to a German newspaper, the family does not own vacation homes, private jets, or yachts, but instead have chosen to live in seclusion, keeping just a couple thousand euros in their bank account. But now, according to a recent report from The Guardian, the family is feuding after one of the founder's wives tried to cut her daughter-in-law and 5 grandkids out of the family business. Aldi is now a global grocery chain with over 10,000 locations worldwide, which includes 1,900 locations in 36 states across the United States. But before it gained worldwide status, it has today. The chain started as a family-owned grocer in Europe. So yeah, I don't really care too much about the history. I was more interested in. So if you want to know more about them, you can look them up. Now you have a little bit of a better idea. What the actual fuck? So these guys. This company is worth over $13 billion. And they're like, no, you minimum wage worker can die for your $15. And if you question us, we will fire you. Yeah, hopefully I answered your question while I was reading. You're so entitled to want to live and have a safe work environment. So he then back to the quartering. He goes ahead and tries to like sort of backpedals a little bit. It's not wrong to make suggestions or want a safe work environment. Entitled. It's wrong to not realize you're the tiniest cog in a machine and maybe consider that when making demands. So he backpedals and then just still goes on with that there's demands. There's no demands in here. That's just, oh, look out for those idealistic lies. Bro, your bias is showing. I'm getting tired of people deleting their tweets right before I go live to talk about their shit. Like, this is what happened when I went and looked at the Tastecraft video, and I went to go look at all the comments on Tastecraft because it had been a year since it was supposed to premiere, and then it didn't premiere with Kyle and Caitlin Chloe, and I wonder why. Apparently, this show that had nothing to do with Nonsec had to stop for some reason. I don't know. I can't possibly imagine how that could have happened. But he decided to call me low IQ, say I was stupid, basically, taunt me on Twitter because he got scared that I was going to read his comments and he deleted the channel. Unfortunately for him, he's got a lower IQ than I do, I guess, because I still had it all. You can't just delete things off the internet. That's not how it works. You fool. Anyway. Gotta suck being outsmarted by somebody with a 69 IQ. 69? 62. I think it's 62. I don't know. IQs mean nothing to me. Ugh. Welcome. So, I don't know. You guys let me know what you think. It does not seem to me that the quartering's reading comprehension skills in relation to Twitter have improved in the past 3 years. 1, if you think he's improved. 2, if you think he's gotten worse. And 3, if you think he's just the same. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, he did. Of course he did. 69. Yeah. 69. In the UK, Aldi pay more than the big 3 supermarkets, but they work you ruthlessly. Yeah, see, that's no good. You have to have a balance. Employee owned and operated. Good question. I'm not sure. It says that according to the letter, if the letter is correct, like assuming this guy has an understanding of the hierarchy of his store, he's at the lowest rung or at a low rung, and they went to their store managers, and their store managers said that we're just following the policy put out by corporate, and so they sent an email to corporate, and because they sent an email to corporate, they got fired. You've gone over my helmet? How dare you? It's absurd. The answer is that it's absolutely absurd. And like this is just shock value. I'm just being edgy, saying nonsense and using words that I don't understand, like absurd and demands and apparently entitled. I mean, unless you think it's entitled to be able to try and communicate one of your employees' needs to your employer. I would challenge the quartering to show and explain where in this letter there is a demand, because there's no demands here, and that's what throws this whole thing off. Talk about, I feel like thou doth protest too much about being an entitled moron. Anyway, it was just a quickie that I wanted to look at. So I'll let you guys discuss, and you guys can let me know whether or not you think the quartering has improved in 3 years or not, because this seems just as bad, if not worse. Anyway, this tweet's gone, so for all I know, maybe he has changed his mind and he's going to put out an update. He had not I did double check to make sure that he had not put out something that corrected this, or he changed his mind, or he hadn't put any kind of statement out as of this stream. If he does, I might not bother to update you, so if you want, you can go and check it out yourself. I mean, if he does talk more about this, I might follow up, because it might be even worse. Or it might be more funny. I don't know. It could, who knows where we could go. We could be anywhere. You know what? I got to give the quartering credit. After I get over the first hump of, like, what did I just read? It's really funny. I have a good time. It's really funny. I do have a little project. I am inviting Dottie to it, so hopefully she'll get back to me. I have Manya coming in, and I have a little bitty baby project that I'm working on that is going to be a lot of fun, and hopefully you guys will join me for that. Tomorrow I'm going to be on Claire's channel. She's going to expound a little bit more on boundaries and how to say no, and I'm going to be there, so go and follow over there and go check us out over there tomorrow. I may be back tonight with a little bit more, because I have a whole nother thing that I want to talk about. If I'm not back tonight, I will be back. Actually, no, I do have some art I have to do. Okay, so I have to finish some commission work tonight. On Wednesday, I'll be on Claire's channel. On Thursday, I will be back, and I'm going to be talking about basically new atheist TM on Twitter, and sort of like the rules of engagement and where those conversations kind of go. And basically, I'm going to pull a conversation that I came across, and I'm going to look through and I'm going to read that. And we're going to talk about that. And then hopefully, the person who started the conversation is actually going to join me the next week. On Saturday, if I'm not mistaken, I will also be hanging out with Claire and Karma again, and I'm not sure what we're talking about. And last night, I was on Karma Valley's channel talking about Marilyn Manson, so if you're interested in that situation and sort of talking about consent and how to kind of navigate a story, you can go check that out over on her channel. Monday, I was on Caffeine Corner also, so you can go check that out. I'm all over the place is the answer. I am everywhere, doing everything all of the time. So go find me on Twitter to kind of keep track of where I am and what's going on. Like, share, sub, hit the bell, I guess. If you want to join the Discord and kind of keep tabs on me a little bit better, you can join the Discord by becoming a member or join the Patreon. And if you would like to support in other ways that people aren't taking a percentage of, I have an Amazon wish list down below. One is for me and one is for Puck, who is taking a nap on the couch behind me. I don't think you can see him. I'm not gonna wake him up. Anyway, if you guys have anybody who you think would want to sponsor me, tell them to reach out. I'll be more than happy to. I'm everywhere. I'll see you guys later. Have a good day. Bye.